All right, here standing by with Coach Termi as well as Jen, and we're going to dive into this here. What did you tell the team after the loss to Sentinels that not only motivated them, but also how happy are you with the performance on map 1? Because it was incredible.
일단 오늘 선수들이 굉장히 좀 침착하게 잘 해준 것 같고, 사실 센티널전을 저희가 첫 맵을 이길 수 있었는데 마지막 라운드 뭐 5대3 같은 경우 그런 부분에서 저희가 침착하게 대응하지 못한 게 그때 당시에 패배의 요인이라고 생각하고, 오늘은 특히 그런 것들을 성준한테 강조하다 보니 선수들이 좀 차분하게 잘 한 것 같고, 그래서 이제 좀 스코어가 좀 쉽게 나온 것 같습니다.
I think the players are staying very calm because I think when we look at that Abyss map from the Sentinels match, we could have won.
Yeah.
You know, we could have gotten away with that map too. And then I specifically mentioned you guys have to stay calm because, you know, look at that 5v3 situation when we had the man advantage. Don't make that happen again. Just stay calm. And I think the players are doing extremely well in terms of staying very collected and calm, getting the communication flowing very well. So I think that kind of, you know, the results on Lotus kind of speaks to how they remember to stay calm and play their best game.
Well, I mean, it speaks for themselves for sure. Back to you guys.
Literally.
We heard Termi there speaking about staying calm in a man advantage situation, but this is the thing. They were staying calm, Mimi, when they were in a disadvantage situation.
Yeah, I mean, they were more than calm. They were chilling in this map. This felt like the fastest match of the tournament thus far. And some of these round wins, especially at the beginning of the map, were wild because Foxy was losing the first fight like a million rounds in a row. They were playing out these 4v5s and then just winning them in the late rounds regardless. They went over 80% of their 4v5s.
I think it is so important for them. Also thinking about the rest of it. Yeah.
I love it. Sorry, carry on.
No, yeah, but thinking about the rest of the tournament, it's so important to listen to Termi and think about, even in this situation, you can still win the round. You have to take things little by little. Do not underestimate your opponent. Even when the score was getting very, very separated, it didn't matter for them.
Yeah, and this honestly had echoes of the EDG game that we saw for Trace, where the initial game plan is something that is very structured. They went for a lot of these A fights, and then once that started to fail, right, that chamber was baiting out the utility, they weren't getting value from it, and these rounds were getting into positions where the DRX individuals could just take fights. They were winning them every time, and that just built confidence and snowballed this win for DRX.
God. It's crazy to see that they were evened out on those first kills. It was such a quick map. It is very important also to notice that this was Trace's map pick. They decided to go here in Lotus. They had good results regionally, and it was one of their better maps. So now going to Abyss, things might get shaky.
And it's not like they didn't do well. They came out with full confidence. They got the first pick, like 8 rounds, but they just couldn't convert them. This is the other thing though. Foxy Knight, even though he went down in a lot of situations, let's take a look at this crazy 4K we had in the Verizon high speed moment. What a redemption moment for him as well after going down quite a few rounds.
There are like 7 rookie players in this matchup today, and I think there were a lot of questions as to how they could perform under the pressure of the lower bracket. But I think we can be happy to see that all of these DRX rookies, and Foxy Knight especially, looked outstanding in this game. You could not see the pressure on their faces. They were up there, they were having fun, they were winning individual rounds, and they were playing incredibly well as a team. Everything you could need for your first map to maybe get a lower bracket run started.
But being realistic, those kind of plays, that play in particular should have never happened. Like the spacing between the players, how and you know, the attempts of trading being so separated is the kind of thing that is going to make Trace lose this matchup. Because as I'm saying, going into Abyss, things are only going to get even more crazy because DRX feels very comfortable in this map.
Yeah, once these rounds crack open for Trace, I think they really struggle to slow down and focus on those fundamentals. Instead of fighting forward, taking that time to regroup, set up your double swing, set up those basic things that are really hard to do under pressure. And again, it's now 2 series in a row where we've seen these problems crop up.
I'm glad you mentioned Abyss as well, because Buzz was having a great time on Lotus as well. He's about to absolutely dominate. I am genuinely, at this point, Mimi, a little bit worried for Trace.
I think you have to be. I mean, map 1 was a roll, and they're going into very, very comfortable territory for DRX on Abyss.
Yeah, speaking of Trace, let's hear what their coach had to say ahead of map 2.
Hey everyone, GB here alongside with Luna for translations and Coach Destroyer as we dive into this one. Your back is against the wall here. Abyss is coming up for map 2. What did you tell the team as they're getting ready to take on DRX once again?
我跟他们说，他们现在打到这里，我已经为他们骄傲了，他们不需要有任何的负担，只需要尽力多少自己的就可以了。
I told them, don't be too much pressure on your shoulder. I'm already proud to all of us to get this far.
Yeah, and we are all proud of them as well, of course. Let's go ahead and send it back to the team.
That's my coach. That's my coach. But how beautiful will it be, though, if out of all of the maps we go to, that Trace Kakuka can come back on Abyss?
I think that it would be very poetic, and I don't want them to have another one of the Lotus that we just saw. I want that even if they get with this feeling of you already gotten this far, you were already first to the group. Think about your year as a whole and how much you've grown and how well you've performed. You do not want to leave in that situation.
And I think the coach telling them that is all you can. If you're talking about the swings, the mistakes, everything that went wrong on that map, I think that'll just continue to weigh down on you as a player. You have to kind of take the gloves off. You've done something amazing already.
I think you just speak about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like, I think what matters now is the mental, the confidence, bringing back into that, seeing what you can do, playing with your cards already out on the table.
I would love to see what they go with in terms of composition, because 2 times they played it, 2 different cons, maybe a 3rd time lucky, perhaps?
Yeah, probably. Now that they're coming into the international stage, maybe they want to swap things around, maybe do a mix and match. We've seen a lot of Abyss, so it wouldn't be that big of a surprise that they pick up something from another team.
Oh, it's the Astra. They're incorporating the Astra.
I love the Astra on this map. I think that global utility is super powerful on defense. It adds a lot into the post plants as well on this map. And having that KO Sova, as we've seen on a lot of other maps, really powerful combo.
It is 2 very similar composition. For a second, you might look at this and you think this is a Sen, but it goes a lot about gathering that information, trying to read onto your opponent, and setting your duelist very, very well to try and get those openers, and maybe this time getting the rounds for the side of Trace.
And Kai going up against Buzz as well on that jet is going to be a feast. This is the thing, Coach Destroyer, he's proud of his boys already, but Brandon Sideshow, imagine if they bring it back.
Well, it's going to take a miracle, I think, for Trace at this point, but they have completely chopped and changed up their entire Abyss composition. They needed to do that. They haven't had good showcases when they played this map in the past. Only 2 times that they have played it, they've both been losses. And DRX at this point are quite well drilled. They've got a lot of reps on the stage playing this map, but that does open them up to potentially getting counter-stratted, getting antied to some degree, I suppose, as well. And maybe that's why Trace have opted in as well. Kai on the jet. This guy can be a heavy hitter. Maybe an element to try and shut down Buzz in that head-to-head.
Yeah, and with Trace having an only 20% win rate on defense on this map.
Yeah.
Pretty poor performances, 0-2 in China, and DRX it being their home territory. Yinsu asks the question, you know, imagine a comeback happening. I mean, John Lennon had struggled to imagine a comeback like that happening, I think.
Yeah.
Your imagination's pushed to its limits, but we'll have to see.
I really do think so. It's a high-low setup as well to try and cut up the addition of the attack side here. Flashback gets caught straight up into the camera. Buzz! He responds. It's 2 players chopped up, maybe going for the second one. That is just decisiveness and composure on display. In the blink of an eye, the round upended. King pull back at the start, tries to fake like he could be backing away, but still double player hold. Buzz jiggling, gets the info that he was looking for. Open side over towards A. If King really does get a move on, but that might be heard by Foxy9. Footsteps, potential. He's actually taking a long way around.
It's such a big map. I don't think he will have heard the footsteps there.
All because King decided to take a bit of a marathon sprint, and he's got time to do this.
Yeah, and he can play a post plant, but he's going to have to try to fight aggro for a kill first.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to win a passive post plant here, even as Astra with a pull, by just, you know, plant. What on earth is he up to here? He's trying to fake it out, seeing if there's still a defender over on the A site. He doesn't quite understand. He's still going to have that recalled smoke, though, as a pull. But like I say, I think he's got to try to fight for 1 pick here at least. A 1v2 you can just about manage.
He might be offered one. Him versus Foxy9. No way. They spotted each other, though. King, that's cheeky.
Winnable.
Baited almost. It is winnable, especially with the star online as well for the first tap. 1 way in his face, though. Difficult to get through. Paranoia is perfect. Buzz sticking a bit of body blocking action. Oh. No way. They get half. Vulnerable up though, but Buzz is now sticking this, and King forced to do a lot more where that came from. It's a 4-piece in the end, but still a pistol round. Earned up by Buzz, just full sticking it away, and some cheeky plays as well. The mechanics on display. That's hard to do. You can try it in a custom game.
I mean, that is brilliant. We've seen so many teams at Champs try to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It only takes the slightest misalignment to throw that off, and you just both go sliding past each other. Lorking did the best that he possibly could. He even found that pick that he was looking for to bring things down into a 1v2. He's going to be gutted there. In his head, he probably thinks he got the timing wrong. It's only when he watches the VOD back later he'll realize that DRX outplayed him.
And DRX, you know, despite the comp being quite, I think, you know, boring, I think, by the standard, by a lot of teams in terms of what they're playing. You see G2 and Fnatic are throwing in. It's quite a standard comp that has a lot of ideas. It basically follows the exact same blueprint as maps like Ascent. You refresh into one way to try and control extremity control. You try and put an op in the hands of your jet play, as you see in here. Buzz, this time with the Outlaw. And it's too many angles, really, for the attackers to clear. Still, they're going to use the drone to do just that, but Buzz can disrespect it. He has that liberty, and yeah, 2 shots available. That's precisely what they're used for.
He's been so good in this position, trying to anchor.
He's been a monster. And he's looking to keep that form going. Bit of a slip-off when it comes to his matchup against Sentinels, but okay, finally denied that spot out through the back of the site. Sheriff shots need to be clean. King just can't quite hit them. And Feng, oh no, dropped down to 1 HP, no chance in that spot there. 3 surviving for DRX into the next.
I wonder if the Outlaw gets picked up here, put back into the hands of Buzz. Looks like it has been.
Yeah.
That's the style that DRX love to go with. They always have somebody hard anchoring on the B site, and then the rest can flood in based off that distraction. While the rest of Trace are trying to deal with Buzz in this position, they can't really be putting their crosshairs over towards Heaven and over towards B-Link. Just allows people like Bane to flood back through.
Yeah.
And Buzz is amazing as a distraction. He's often good for 1 or 2 in that back of B site. I thought the Outlaw was going to go back into his hands, but you can see Bane picks that one up, looks towards mid, as Buzz gets the knives online. DRX have often gone for flash or dash stuff with the Blade Storm, but this time, sitting back.
Yeah, trip for the mid presence. Knife delay by Foxy9. He's looking for signs of util to be used, but contact plays, but now he takes the timing anyway. Gets the acknowledgement, just from the 1. Might not be a lot.
A spot that Benji loves playing there. Getting that break, getting that cage, sorry. Threatening. I'm not sure the cage was actually good. I believe Buzz got that sightline through, but they're going to look for an easy plant here.
Yeah, Cosmic Divide, but there's only 1 spot to play into. That's just onto the bridge, and there is util that could potentially be used to try and push this one back. Shock darts are already flying through. Kaido is ahead of most of this one, underhanded. Foxy9, a flash to play off of, but they're going to be biding their time, waiting it up, and they have full side control. It's going to be trying to play it from B main, rifles in hand. Feng at least dismissing Buzz out of the fight in the action now. But the util back and renewed. Once more, they've got a pull for this one. They're going to be trying to body block this again. Yeah, looks like it. Why not? Second go of things. Mako. No way, man! They just stick it! It's stolen away! Players survive. You keep rifles into the necks if you are Trace, but that is just brutal.
We haven't seen another team be able to pull that off with the level of consistency required for the Astra to look useless on this map.
Who the hell was it? Someone was about to give it a go, and he said, no, actually, Mako, you do it. It was Foxy9. He was like, no, I don't trust myself. Mako, you do it. You're so good at it. And just a full stick for flashback. The nade delayed. They think that the timing is perfect there.
And it was. The timing on everything is still really, really solid from Trace on pistol and on round 3. No problems with the way that Lorking is playing these spots. It's just that the pull is being countered.
Yeah, and it's such an odd scenario for them surviving. Money is flourishing right now for Trace with the loser's bonus. Getting ahead of the knife. Buzz does not spot any targets. Stars at his feet. It's going to be difficult and tricky to survive in this spot. It's being pulled this way, that way. Needs some help and backup from the rest of his squad. Body's opened up. What an adjustment! That is snappy. It's magnetic. And he has bought that time. Critical element for his team to get back into play.
Trace has got no chances here. Do not come to B. B is for Buzz and he's waiting for you. It's disgusting what he's able to do with an op and Outlaw at the back of this site. I don't think unless they're going to put the Cosmic Divide up and use it again as like a tool of being able to get into B and cross these sight lines, they've got no hope. When Buzz is hitting flicks like that,
it's nasty.
What are you supposed to do about it? Even if you try to flash him off the angle, he's just going to take cover and re-peek.
Yeah.
He's so confident in himself right now. And the Trace players they just simply haven't been hitting today. If you want somebody to step up and be able to pick up a Vandal and hit that head before Buzz is able to get the scope on you, who is that going to be today? In the past at this tournament, Kai was good for it. We saw Fang Fang be good for it as well. Other players would step up at various times in other rounds. Today, it's flat the whole way through, frankly. And I do feel for them because round 1 and round 3 essentially stolen away, despite how well Trace played those situations. And it's not consistent. I mean, most teams have struggled to perfectly align themselves to block that
the Astra pull every time. I mean, it's like you said, it's not consistent. It's honestly quite ridiculous that we've seen DRX pull it out back-to-back to steal away those rounds.
Now, I don't think there's any level of actual randomness to it. It's just that it's difficult to pull off in the moment, get yourself exactly aligned. So, if that's something that DRX have practiced and they're just better at it than other teams, good luck to Lorking.
Especially if that's part of the strategy with you opting into the Astra being played. Strong post-plan util. It's getting outplayed, and now is that upgrade with the operator. Buzz has had it in the prior, jump spot, barely seeing the shoulder. He's out of dodge, away from this cam.
Has the cam spotted him?
I don't think so. Drone's not broken. Kai has to go for a second peek of things as well, and Buzz is out in the open. Yeah, it's just, you're seeing holes, I think, in terms of the protocols of Trace.
It is a new comp, and it's a very different comp to the one that they ran the last couple of times. They're relying on Kai to try to open things up for them here, but he's blocked off by a one-way on the A site. A has been slightly weaker in terms of the defense for DRX, but Mako's home. Kai would have to land a good one to take him out early.
There are so many positions that Kai potentially has to account for. There's one though, plucks Mako out of the picture. No longer a defender at this A side. The rest of his team can follow up off the back of it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad from Mako actually. There was a while there that the one-way was down and he didn't realize, hadn't refreshed it.
Stray bullets up from heaven. Now playing for this one, Kai is getting aggressive. 2 bullets left in the chamber to do some damage. Cam to clear, just the intersection of hell there. And yep, Buzz is unaware that the backside was completely lost. Still, it's traded out. The knives to no avail there for Kai. Dart's going to start a rebound here, and they are pulling some of this util out of Trace. Reveal onto Hebei. Position is there, sprayed down by the bullets. A string of things going wrong now for Trace with only 2 players left, but time is still on their side. Bullets need to be landed! Transfer Lowking, slowing it down. No way! No way! Not again, man! Oh, goodness me.
Which fickle deity has Lorking betrayed recently? Why must all of these situations be pried cruelly away from him? In the most devastating fashions.
Yeah.
His spam is so close, but he's only got like
this
2
transfer,
bullets left in.
It's beautiful to collect the 2. And he just can't quite land it. The bullet's just running out. He can't get the weapon in time off the floor.
5 rounds in a row from DRX. And there is something that feels a little cruel about this.
Some sort of, I don't know, home territory buff or something. I'm not too sure. Luck is definitely on their side, though.
The home territory has not been a buff historically.
Oh, really? Buzz just clips the side of Hebei. Up and over there with the dash. The res is online because the ult was popped off. Buzz is feeling it right now. He actually is fully suppressed. We can't use too much in the form of util to save himself here in through the back. Bane, he has to try and provide that supportive fire, but at least backs himself out. Foxy Knight's been played himself back in. Up and over the top as Heaven was not smoke, or at least it faded. Now the Paranoia glides its way in. Blind as anything. All Q's cut away, but just the tip and top of the head at Foxy 9. It's taken clean off. 2v2. You can slow this down if you Trace. You have options. Bianchi going for the plan here. That's a double face. Good discipline on display here by DRX. Bianchi's got to try and make that play. Dart clears in through the back of the sight. Run and gun from Mako. He knows the weapon well. And he knows a play to make.
And this is why DRX's strategy on B works so perfectly, because even when Buzz, Flashback get overwhelmed in that position, the distraction plays in all of their teammates.
Wait. Okay, I've just seen something ludicrous. The operator fell off the map, and somebody just jumped off the map and picked it off as the round went into the next to save the op.
Ain't no way.
I'm not kidding. I don't know if anybody can pick that up on the replay while we've got replays going, but on somebody's POV, I think it might have been Bane. He just grabbed the op as the round went into the next, off the edge of the map. And
ain't no way.
Listen, Tracer just taking a timeout, so please, if you can grab that, that is insane.
Wait. Explain what you're talking about.
The operator fell off the map, off the edge as Buzz died.
Yeah.
And so it was retrievable, but you had to drop off the map to grab it. So and they've timed it as the round is ending. Bane has grabbed the operator as he's falling in midair to save it into the next.
Ain't no way.
I'm telling you.
That's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, I can't believe what I've just seen.
There's the op. You can see the op. It's still there. Oh, damn. Okay, well, Trace, to focus on them just for a moment as they're taking the tank timeout. This one has been utterly brutal. It's been so different to Lotus, and yet the scoreline suggests it's been exactly the same.
Yeah.
DRX have much better ideas on this map, absolutely, similar to Lotus. But Trace have still been in very winning positions across 3 super important eco swing rounds, and all 3 of them have gone the other way. And I think that, you know, a hand on the forehead, rifling through the hair like that.
There it is. Okay, look at this.
No shot.
As the round's going into the next to save the operator. How insane is that?
That is so sick, man.
Oh
what a catch.
my God.
What a catch. How has it just landed on a little ledge down there?
I don't know. Not questioning it.
Honestly, DRX are... The ways in which they've been winning these rounds, it hasn't been luck, it has been skillfully done, but from Trace's POV, when they watch this back, they'll be amazed.
And Buzz is getting ahead of this one. He's got a dash. Active, and with the Hunter's Fury as well, there is no safety. Can't stand your ground against that. Bianchi drop to the spectator seat. Fung Fung, oh no, just about missing that timing as well, but he's trying to play Kai in. Sneaking up and creeping up through mid. There is these timings to be taken, and this is potentially frantic, but they are winning at least some of these fights. They are going their way. Dart backed off and away. Can potentially be happy the fact that they did manage to get that kill onto Mako.
Yeah, I think that this is a better situation than Trace have been in. They're now applying a lot of pressure to mid, even though there's nobody there, because DRX have got no re-clear utility. Bane doesn't have a recon, doesn't have a drone. They've just got to give up mid and hope there's no lurker. It should make the sights a little weaker. But DRX now anticipating an A hit, because B has never worked. Buzz is over here now.
And he's just so fluid with this operator in his hands. I mean, he was here at the beginning of the round, but there's a lot of angles to account for. He smoked off, away from it. Rifle fire from Foxy9 instantly. Traded off, but he's still taking that peek. And guess what? The flash, or at least the dash, is right back at him. And it's time to play him back in. Lining up these players. In and through. Buzz is having the easiest game of his life because he's being supported so elegantly, man. He can do no wrong.
I love the recon dart as well that Bane throws out. A lot of the top Sova players are throwing that one. Learn it for your games as well. Everyone's going to take this as a learning moment, I suppose. Trace as well, because what else can you do from it? But you fire the recon the opposite side of the choke point so that as the attackers are facing towards heaven or facing towards sight, they'd have to do a 180 flick to break it. It's a nice idea. It plays Buzz in again. I mean, look, they are dominating.
Yeah.
Any area that Buzz is at is untouchable. They really can do no wrong. I think that's a great way of putting it. And from Trace's point of view, when you flip that on its head, it's like no matter what situation they get themselves in, DRX are always, they've always run into the operator. They've always got the perfect player flooding in off the back. And here they're trying to go into Buzz again. They do have the drone to try to push him off the angle.
Okay. Not that it stopped Buzz before.
No. And here in this round, pay attention to the way that the other players come in onto B.
He's been
based
missed.
Off Buzz distraction.
He's been missed. Shots fired, and Buzz is right ahead of most of this.
This time they hold for Foxy9's flood.
Yes. So dropping one of the players there, Mako just cannot control the rifle. Looking sick of this. He's taking matters into his own hands and has cleared out, rooted out. The stalwart defenders watching it slightest of off angles and wandering from Bane will be punished.
What a nice adjustment from Trace, realizing that if you focus on Buzz, you get killed by either him or everybody else. So instead, they just push Buzz back a little bit and try to kill the others coming out through Heaven, through B-Link. A really solid adjustment, I think, to try to deal with that. Unknown if that came from the TAC timeout that we saw earlier or whether that's from, you know, Bianca, for example, as the IGL trying to make that adjustment on the fly. God, Luo King hasn't been able to get it done with his utility the whole map. But yeah, finally, rifle out.
How many times do you see the controller player just clearing backside?
Yeah, business done.
Like I said, I mean, taking matters into his own hands.
Now imagine the comeback.
I'm imagining.
I'm still struggling, to be honest with you.
I'm engaging my brain.
I think Trace would have to put together at least some better post-plant situations. So, you know, get in, get plant down, get out, still be able to sync some post-plants, maybe get some post-plant flanks going, aggressive on-site positions, some extra layer for me to believe that they can take the majority of these next 4. DRX, are they going for an aggressive play?
So, maybe off the back of Buzz, at least they hold over towards B with the flood defending getting clocked. They want to go for something aggressive. Drone is used pretty early on the mark here for DRX, but it gets them that information. They know where Kai is playing with the operator.
Obviously here, DRX trying to push Trace into this trap on B.
Yeah.
Here.
Buzz has not popped the Blade Storm as far as I'm aware. So he's not going to be able to go for like the updraft play. Mako taking some chip.
He's right in the middle of the box. There's a flash play up and over with the dash as well. Buzz getting ahead of himself, and he realizes it's still Kai. He's watching for the exit, and there's the punish in sight. Well dissected by Trace.
Good awareness of that stuff as well. The spam onto the box, clearly aware.
It's given that player advantage up over towards him once more.
Here.
It's all about not letting it slip.
Dangerous.
Could say the same for Foxy9. You don't want to be slipping there. Hunter's Fury. They should be pushing out through the back of the side. No way. The bullets barely survived and saved in the end of the day by Mako. In through the back here with 30 seconds left. The Trace still want to make a play for this one. There's a full swarm of players here. Defending rotations from DRX. They shore it all up over towards B, and it leaves it into that 2v2, but time is no longer on the side of Trace here. They've got to try and make the play forwards for it. Bane. Miraculous. He's working magic across the site. Fung Fung sees the operator, feels like saving it, but no, just backs away with a rifle.
He's going for the save in the 1v2. I mean, if that doesn't give you a glimpse as to the mentality of Trace, I suppose the rest of the match, you could figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's another round where Trace get the opening kill. And this one, not a scrappy affair where things get traded out immediately. They just have a solid 5v4 here to try to convert on. And their spacing isn't great as they get into side. The time ends up ticking down. All of DRX are on B. Everybody. Even Flashback's full rotated away from his Cypher setup on A. Confident that Trace are not throwing anything weird into the mix. And I'm afraid it's looking just as dominant as Lotus was.
They're going all in. Into the trips too as well, up and over the top. That's a beautiful flash. Kai is played in perfectly with that. And they have dismissed Buzz as easily as that inside the cage. A bit of spam will deal enough damage. Straight bullet to the cranium, a flashback. Now the split defense play from DRX still as the smoke does dissipate. Bane trying to hold his ground, stand it down up towards Heaven. Still Kai, he's on one. Dashes here, you can feel it in power, but doesn't account for Foxy9 there, so there will be no ace. But still, with the damage done, Trace have got to be happy with that.
A much better attack. Buzz playing in a very different position as well, trying to mix things up. Now he got caught by that flash, up and over. That made all the difference. Round 10 though, and Trace only putting their second on the board. And Buzz is still going to have that operator. They've gone to many lengths to protect them.
Oh, they certainly have.
They've thrown themselves off cliffs to make sure.
What I really should do as well is thank the EVS team for that, I think.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't know if they're here, but I do owe them a drink of their choosing. Because, yeah, pulling that was something special, to be honest. But you're right. And it's going to take, I think, the following up, the next 2 rounds, that are left in this half to even make it, I think, a possibility for Trace to make it doable, because 8-4 at minimum, if you're getting pissed around and you know, moving forward.
And I know it was a very different composition that they brought out today, but Trace, historically, 20% win rate on their defense side on Abyss over the 2 games that they've played against FPX and EDG.
The map has just been a struggle for them.
But it does look like they're heavily favored to win this one. The economy, I was going to say massively favored for them, but, you know, an AWP, a rifle, and a Blade Storm, to be honest with you, there's still a lot of danger that DRX can throw out here.
Stacking over towards B, pulling players back over as well. If they make the great retreat over towards A, it's a drone for a drone, and neither of it's broken, so this essentially feels, I mean, now it definitely looks like DRX know exactly what's up. They're trying to fake presence over towards B with the drone.
Yeah, and that drone from Bianca has got absolutely nothing done. In fact, it's achieved the opposite of what he intended. It's given DRX the read instead of made them confused.
Updraft dash though, here from Kai. Trying to navigate away from most of these trips as well. I believe the knife connected. Mako's inside. One. Flashback still here. Updraft up and over. Blade Storm in hand. Not enough for Buzz to do too much more. Still Bane is there. Sheriff. Just the one before the trade. 1v2 that Foxy9 can play for. But the Operator is the weapon of choice. Maybe not by his choice, but he's got to work with it nevertheless.
He might want to save the op for the final round. But even if he doesn't, this is going to be difficult. They already knew roughly where he was. Fanfan had that neural theft out.
How does he play it? This side is brutal to take. Alone. Doubled up. It's a bit of a high-low setup there by Trace. Enough to sail there through, at least out a 3rd round. Add it to the tally. One more, potentially makes it doable.
One more is all they'll have access to. I mean, they better hope that it makes it doable. Squandered their chances at a better half thus far. Kai has been the only player really opening things up. Lorking had his chances and he did a great job. So I suppose I shouldn't count him out either. But Kai's aggressive entrying has actually worked to get them into sights. They're going to double up on the attack side here, despite the fact they're set up to go for something fast on B.
Yeah,
seems
a bit of a head
odd.
scratcher. Flash and dash play out through mid as well. Hungfeng will survive. Uses the cage just to make sure he can back away there. Looking to reclaim some of that space up through mid. Now to no command.
No Blade Storm.
Emanates his way out. Trips. That is bizarre stuff that I'm seeing. Up and over Fruity's a kill trips to try and at least potentially play off here, but DRX, they wanted to try and play in front of all of this. Bodies swinging out wide and still collecting and claiming all sorts of kills.
Look how annoying that smoke is.
Not much you can get through. Another one-way. Blooms and blossoms. How do you play your way past this one? Cosmic Divide is committed here. Lao King wants to try and get himself in, but that's an underhanded with a flash. Cleaning him up. Still walking straight into Kai. Does have the Blade Storm. Up and over now. Updraft dash. Nowhere near is his teammate playing with him, though. And as that fades away, that is great reactions. Kai once more has to be that playmaker. Steps up to that challenge. Wasn't quite a tap, now a full stick. Feng's been smoked off, though, and the angle not watched for. He's looking all the way up into the high ground, still down to just Kai. Again to do it, dodges the paranoia, but plenty of bullets raining down onto him, up and over. He's hoping and hunting for the head. Operating out in his hands. Maybe a chance to isolate one of these fights. Mako! What is going on, son? Dashing away, you cannot escape your fate. Bane tracks him down with perfection.
Kai did what he could there in the final moments, but it's still only going to be 3 for Trace. I thought Mako was about to throw himself off the map.
It looked like
there.
it, man. It looked like it, but still.
DRX maintain control, don't they?
Held down, yeah.
Love the way that they've been playing this map in general. They only need 4 more to close things out.
That's looking like dominance, though. Another similar tale that's just weaved here by DRX. We're going to see if it continues into Abyss.
Red Bull gives you wings.
magic. Pit it up as a main, mash, pit it up as a 애가 누구를 넣어서 실내 가기 전까지 끊었어. What? Pit it up as a main, 눈치 필요 없어 main. 나이 땅에서 갈 수 있는 건 다 갖고는 떠나서 세상을 뜯는다고 될 때까지 거지가 잠깐만 나 내 plug 여기까지는 안 될 거리가 터지는 하웨이 속도에서 나 들려 네 목소리가 빠르게 바뀌어 네 캐시미어 너는 잘난 팀 나 ray 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 turn this up yeah turn this up yeah turn this up yeah turn this up yeah watch me pop the top baddie to the club yeah shorty in my crib it's a light yeah and let me hit it I just wanna hit the fire I know that baby I just wanna take it right to your turn I don't need it too much when everything all the same got me with this shit now whoa go crazy go crazy go crazy go crazy go crazy.
All eyes on to the pistol round here, 9-3, DRX. Once more, I mean, in terms of just finishes for the first half, you can feel, I think, very confident if you're a DRX fan. I think DRX themselves are going to be feeling very confident, I think, heading into this next follow-up in through Abyss.
And for Trace, it really is only those two players at the top of the scoreboard that are doing much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Kai's 17-9. How do you get that scoreline when you're down 9-3? That is pretty ridiculous, no? But yeah, almost 6 times as many kills as the people at the bottom of the scoreboard.
That's
and
insane.
Historically, the defense has been bad for Trace, but it's a brand new comp. We should probably just reset our expectations, but it's difficult to reset, and even more difficult for those players down on stage to reset after what they've experienced so far today. Kai's gonna have to go nuclear, I think, to be able to win this one.
Even more so. Very familiar position. Been watching Buzz perched up onto that ankle all map long. Over the top though, lineups for days here from Foxy9. This is going to be attempting to disrupt any sort of hold. Flash, updraft dash in through the smokes as well, but a kill's collected on either side here with the Jets going down. And now barreling their way forwards. DRX just trying to take a bit of space in through the back of the site. They haven't actually disjointed some of these players. Hey, Bay Sheriff cannot get the job done there. Just one stray shot to the chest. Mako watching for the hop up.
That's a really important fight.
And they're winning all of them. Lao King.
Cover going out.
Second top performer. It's been heartbreak for him in terms of the rounds where he could have had that impact. Stopped in his tracks. Taking these fights, very individualistic, but yet Mako's there eventually to swing and collect up the kill alongside Flashback. That's 10 rounds now for DRX, a pistol round as well. And for Trace, what options do you have at this point? I mean, you've got a force, I think, really, but you're on the defense side, you don't have the plant money. It's not looking good.
No, I don't think they're going to be able to force just based on eco. They didn't even kill enough players. I think this is DRX, long suspected after what we saw as the opening to Lotus, but I think this is where we're going to see DRX close things out fairly easily, barring a very unusual twist and turn in this match. And it is really confidence building, I think, for DRX and for DRX's fans to see them come out in their first game of the lower bracket.
It's play cooked up by Trace. Trying to use the weaker weaponry and util maybe that they can find a few kills there through the main fight. But you're right, I mean, DRX, for the fans, I'm not going to say expecting an outcome like this, I think, some sort of dominant performance, but they definitely needed it, I think, in terms of Pacific representation, the Korean representation too, at this event in Seoul.
The Korean fans here in person would be absolutely gutted and very unexpected to lose Gen.G and DRX this early. It would have been unthinkable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's going to occur. Trace go for a stack in the right place, but
exactly
doesn't catch too much.
Everybody accounted for. Up to 11 here for DRX. At least you get the rifles online if you are Trace. But yeah, the fans, they needed something. It's not just signs of life from DRX as well, though. This is just purely a clean sweep almost in terms of a win.
Yeah, it's dominant. And it's also 2 maps that they're really strong at and have showcased that they're really strong at this event. DRX's Lotus was kind of so-so before coming into Champs, but I think the addition of adding that chamber in certainly caught Fnatic off guard. That's a huge win to be able to get, and it's worked beautifully here as well. And Abyss has just been home territory for them.
Yeah, they're going to go for the B-hit simulator. Look at a util. Just sails up and over the head.
They're very practiced.
Yeah. Fung Fung makes a go of things. Just peeking past it. Again, he's going to get traded. Trying to take the fight outside of Heaven. Foxy9 with his plant. And it's in quite a difficult spot as well to try and pick apart. If you're trying to play the retake now as Trace. Spammable box corner. You've got Buzz taking point as well. They're going to have to use util to try and clear him out. Knife against it. Through the back wall. Tags onto him, so they know that Buzz is playing into this spot, but the drone's going to be used as well. Sees multiple players spamming away. Bullet's not landing, though, not through that box. One way in for the smoke, and the dart snaps it round to the behind. Buzz, though, eventually overwhelmed. The util is good, but still time starting to tick. This is where the problems start to stack. Trace, they need to try and hold these guns and hold them well. Fire in line, sticking it forwards. Now the defense needs to come online, but again, Bullet straight through the wall. And then Foxy9 even fooled. Flashback was wrapping it all the way there.
DRX do end up losing their weaponry towards the end of things here. But I mean, this round, it's looking like it could be exactly identical to Lotus. 13-3 is on the horizon. And the way that DRX dealt with that did end up just being textbook. And I think that word could be used to describe how the Korean squad has played all day.
They're going into it again. Listen.
Run it as a scrim at this point.
Exactly. Limit testing. They don't want to give away footage of how they play the rest of the map. They can't stop the B hits. Just keep running it. Flashes are connecting. Nade in through the back as well. Fung Fung, that's good. Stands it down still. Damage was done to him, so he was softened, weakened enough for the stray bullets of Bane to find him. In through the smoke as well. There's time is to be taken. Behind K and Kai, they are capitalizing. Mako drops him, crouch down, coverage, and fire over the shoulder still. Leaves Mako into that 1v2, and Hey Bay will deliver those death blows. Enough for Trace to survive another day.
Perhaps DRX are going to have to bring something different out heading into the round after this one. Going to be going into an eco for DRX. The amount of util dump that goes in onto that backside player is phenomenal. I mean, Fung Fung does a great job in that moment to be able to get a kill out of that. He's flashed up, runs into a fragment grenade, has to readjust very, very quickly. But all of these bright spots, they can't quite obscure the scoreline at the top. And we do often see eco rounds to close out these kind of situations.
We saw it on the last map.
Yeah. That time, though, there were stingers online. This time,
sure.
Genji, DRX only coming into Sheriffs. That's
maybe wishful thinking on your part. Do you hope that Genji was in playoff, Josh? It's not the case. It would lay your hopes on DRX's shoulders.
Would have been nice for the stories, but alas, I'm another broken Genji fan that's here to support DRX now.
Smoke at the feet there for Buzz. Trying to obfuscate whether or not he's crossed that one, and does pull out an ult. I mean, Heibay's using an ult command. You can feel just how tested and pulled, I think, Trace are, that even against the weaker buy, they feel like they have to use ults.
Now going back into Kai, a full rotate while Trace stay anchored to A. The cam spots it out. This should start the defensive rotates coming through. And yet, it wasn't real.
What is happening here? What is going on?
The entire war chest is being unloaded, and in what direction? Where's that going, Bianca?
Listen, if there's anything...
thought it was B.
Yeah, and it clears the way to absolutely nothing still. Now the indicator is on, but they've used so many ults into this round. It's already a win for DRX, even if they lose the round. Up and over with the dash. Attempt to play these players in. Foxy9. Just the one before he's shut down. 12-5, but as we were saying, I mean, what is going on with the ults?
A bit panicked, and I think that's what's going to happen when you've only won 8 rounds to your opponent's 25. You know, when they're winning 3x more rounds than you are over the course of the entire match, you're going to get shook in these kind of situations and feel like you've got to use the ults to close them out. It seems like a decent protocol on a rifle round if that had been a B hit, but it was a cute fake into a re-hit called by Mako. It's created a massive ult advantage for this one. Though having said that, oh, hello, Kai, up and over.
Yeah, Flashback not dodging the dart either, so he was lit up. There was chances for Kai to rip the opposition's head off. Here. Cam up. This feels precarious. I mean, there's backup arriving potentially there with a deep knife as well.
They're leaving.
Yeah, Cam is cleared.
Kai.
Oh, Flashback's caught him.
Whoa. I mean, Kai's teammates just left him out to die. They marooned him on a desert island.
Oh, yeah. No SOS or smoke signal saving you there. No rough F online for Flashback, you can hear it. He's got it. Hat flung wide, gives him that information now. They know it's split, straight down the middle. 2 for 2, Loud King's position, out through the back of the side as well. Where's the support of Util? Flash is there, it's perfection again. The execute's clearly drilled well by DRX. Util up and over, Bianca, he's hoping he can spam and spray down! Oh my goodness, he's moving all over the place. The aim is going wild and so are the bullets.
He hit his jump button throughout the middle of that as well.
Oh boy. Trace, have to pick up the pieces, but only 2 left to do it now. This is it. Turning point in the map, in the series. DRX on a blinder. Form playing that significant factor. And they've got a chokehold onto this side into the post plant. Good luck getting through this. Good luck stepping over that barrier and that finish line. DRX, it's flawless once more to finish the map. And almost perfect all the way through, out. Cleaning up the lower bracket game, and it does mean that Trace, unfortunately, will be eliminated.
Flawless, clean, textbook. A great match, I think, to restore a bit of confidence to DRX fans who might have been worried that the last bastion of hope for Pacific, for Korea, was going to end up in an inglorious end. I mean, they certainly looked excellent today. They got to showcase 2 of their best maps and dominated, crushed Trace.
Yeah.
But what a performance from Trace to even get to this point. The fact that they went out ignominiously does not mean that their results from the group stage should be looked down upon. Bianca, Mr. Upset, back here on a big stage, delivering results against Vitality, against Leviathan. And Heibe as well got the full range of emotions, from tears to a determined look after his win in groups.
Absolutely.
And now a bit of disappointment, I'm sure, but today belongs to DRX.
It does, they survive. One more day, a little bit longer in through the playoffs as well, a chance to potentially dish out some damage and get revenge for the Korean compatriots that were failed in the groups. They have that chance, they've earned it here and today.
Yeah, and I think they didn't just survive, they made a statement, I think.
Yeah.
That these 2 maps, they can crush teams that have earned their spot in playoffs if you're not ready for them. If you're not confident enough on Lotus, on Abyss, DRX will happily take you there. A deep map pool, and this team's starting to get a bit of momentum going.
Flexing their muscles with it in multiple ways. I mean, it really was just DRX consistently flexing, and yeah, unfortunate for Trace with a few of these early rounds, these moments where, you know, you just think a few stray bullets potentially land onto the players when they're trying to pull something like that off. Maybe it makes a difference.
And maybe it would have made a difference to make it a closer game on Abyss, but I don't think there was a world today, at least, where Trace were going to win this map.
Yeah.
And certainly on Lotus, because they didn't actually even have those winning moments, those possibilities on Lotus. It was all pure domination from DRX. Today, there was a gap between these 2 teams.
There really was. I had questions about form for individual players, whether Buzz is going to be able to play back up to it after getting knocked hard down by Sentinels. To be honest, the whole team did. I think they all picked up the pieces and they all dominated in their own regard. Let's send it down to the floor. It's the Verizon post-match interview, and I believe it's got Flashback standing by.
Thank you guys, and a dominant win by DRX, sending Trace Esports home. I'm standing here with DRX's Bane. Everyone give it up for Bane!
Hello, hello.
Now, Bane, this is your first ever Champions, a big stage you've been dreamed of, and a lot's been going on already. I mean, you guys blasted through the group stage, played Sentinels. You also just played your elimination match in Champions. You know, how are you dealing with all the pressure, and what do you think of your journey here in Champions so far? 베인 선수 오늘 승리 정말 축하드리고요. 꿈꾸던 무대에 드디어 도착했잖아요. 너무 많은 일들이 일어나고 있습니다. 뭐 그룹 스테이지 바로 통과해서 센티널스랑 경기를 치르고 거기에다가 오늘은 이렇게 단두대 매치까지 멋지게 승리해냈는데 부담감은 좀 없는지 물어보고 싶고요. 또 여태까지 좀 챔피언스는 어떤 시간인지도 물어보고 싶네요.
그냥 사실 뭐 이번 연도를 마무리하는 제일 큰 무대이긴 하지만 딱히 의식 안 하려고 노력하고 있고, 오히려 이제 단두대 매치가 됐는데 오히려 더 마음을 내려놓고 편안하게 했던 것 같아요. 저도 잘 모르겠는데 좀 신기하긴 한데 그래서 오늘 좋은 기량을 보여드릴 수 있었던 것 같고 손쉽게 이길 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
Well, it definitely is the last event and the biggest event of the year, but I'm not trying to put an emphasis on that fact, trying to lift the pressure off myself. And even though today was the elimination match, it felt like, you know, our backs were against the wall, but it kind of helped us stay more calm and more collected, you know, have no pressure at all, which is kind of weird, but I am really, really happy that we get to survive and play the next match for us here in Champions. Now, other teams from other regions, they still seem to struggle against the CN region teams as well. Now, you know, do you feel like you guys were able to play your A game today because you guys were so familiar with the CN region? You know, you guys screamed TE a lot as well, right? 이제 다른 지역 팀들은 조금 아직도 중국 팀들을 만나면 약간 흔들리는 모습을 보여주고 있는데 오늘 DRX는 그냥 100% 다 보여주고 흔들림이 없었잖아요. 아무래도 좀 스크림을 많이 해봐서 익숙한 지역 팀이기 때문에 라고 봐도 될까요?
네, 저도 그렇게 생각하는 게 저희가 워낙 중국 팀들과도 연습을 많이 하다 보니까 그런 특유의 중국 팀다운 공격적인 모습들 그런 거에 저희가 좀 적응이 되면서 다른 팀들은 그런 거에 좀 당황을 해서 좀 지는 모습도 있었던 것 같은데 저희는 좀 알고 있으니까 좀 받아 먹으면서 쉽게 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, of course, and it's something that we were able to exploit because we scrimmed the CN teams a lot, and it seems like teams from other regions, they're caught off guard by their aggressive styles, but it's something that we can definitely predict from them and take advantage of. Now, we don't have a lot of time, but you guys are so close to playing in Inspire. Will you make it happen? 인스파이어가 얼마 남지 않았잖아요. 각오 한마디 시원하게 해주시죠.
사실 센티널 경기를 이겼으면 조금 더 쉬운 길로 갈 수 있었을 텐데 저희가 놓친 만큼 힘든 길을 왔지만 진짜 꼭 그 경기장을 가고 싶거든요.
네.
진짜 뭐 비록 준비 기간이 내일 하루밖에 없겠지만 이틀 뒤 경기도 진짜 저희가 모든 걸 쏟아부어서 꼭 팬분들한테 좋은 결과를 보여드릴 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
I mean, it would have been easier for us if we had the chance to beat Sentinels, but we let that slip away. So, you know, we don't have a lot of time to prep, but we will put our 100% into our prep and the next match coming up for us to make sure that we play at Inspire. And thank you everyone for supporting us as well. Now, congratulations, Bane, once again.
Thank you.
And that was Bane with the post-match interview. We'll be back soon.
This is it. This is the lower bracket, which means there will be no second chances. DRX and Trace have to bring their A game if they want to make a run, and this is going to be a very important map pool.
Safely tucked inside the smoke, just trying to take that angle and fight, but again, nothing to really add on. Make something of this round still, but he's going to just down to the one, and he will be quickly approached. And the double-up discipline of Trace is enough to seal up that round. Util to work, but it's not too much here. Adjustment, Smokes dropped the Bane and brings it closer and closer to victory. Dropped in the process now. ADS for lining him up. Flashback might just be their savior. Buzz is right round the corner. Shoddy in hand. Upgrade obtained and beaming him down. My God, Buzz! 13-3 is the finish. Map 1 sealed up. He needs some help and backup from the rest of his squad. Body's opened up. What an adjustment! And he has bought that time. Critical element for his team to get back into play. Okay, I'm just seeing something ludicrous. The operator fell off the map, and somebody's just jumped off the map and picked it off as the round went into the next to save the op. Ain't no way. Into the trips too as well, up and over the top. That's a beautiful flash, Kai. The split defense play from DRX still. The smoke does dissipate. Payne trying to hold his ground, standing down up towards heaven. Still Kai, he's on one. This is where the problems start to stack. Trace, they need to try and hold these guns and hold them well. Fire in line, sticking it forwards. Now the defense needs to come online, but again, bullets straight through the wall. And then Foxy9 even falls. DRX, it's flawless once more to finish the map. And almost perfect all the way throughout. Cleaning up the lower bracket game, and it does mean that Trace, unfortunately, will be eliminated.
Mirror, eyes all dark, so crusty like syrup. And oh, hasn't been a week already, but I feel a week and dizzy. I've been grinding for too many day and nights. I forgot already, gotta stay alive. But my music's still buzzing, I may die, but the song will never die, never die. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. Stay alive, yeah, they may shoot, but we find. Say goodbye, our records play till we die. The roof, yeah, we going up, yeah, we going up, baby. On the roof, yeah, on the roof, yeah, on the roof, yeah, we going up, yeah, we going up, baby. Saying oath to my mirror, I won't slow it till I'm bigger. Well, till I'm thinner, so my flow will never simmer.